Of problems, we've got some rules here about classifying triangles. There's two ways to classify a triangle, and it's kind of like giving a triangle two names. And if you ever asked to classify a triangle, be sure and think about a name for it based on its sides and a name for it based on its angles, because sometimes they'll ask you just to classify it based on sides. Sometimes they ask for just the angle name. Sometimes they want both. So keep in mind, what the instructions are asking for. Sometimes they're asking for more than one type of name. Using the sides, a scalene triangle has 0 congruent sides. All the sides are different. In an isosceles triangle, at least 2 of the sides are congruent. And I know that's weird that it says at least, but that's because if there are 2, you can call it isosceles. So even one where they're all equal, it could be called isosceles, but a better name for it would be equilateral. When there are 3 sides congruent, we generally call them equilateral triangles. As far as the angle names, they're here. There are 4 names based on the angles. So if it's acute, it has 3 acute angles. Remember that acute means less than 90. A right triangle, a right angle, remember that's 90 degrees, will have 1 right angle. An obtuse triangle will have 1 obtuse angle. Any triangle can only have 1 obtuse angle in it if it does have any. And the reason for that is that if you take up more than 90, then there's less than 90 left when you're adding these together. So there cannot be any more than 1 obtuse, and there also cannot be any more than 1 right angle in a triangle for the same reason. Equiangular is a special name just for triangles that are equilateral, or when all the sides are the same, all the angles are the same as well. So here in this picture, all of the angles are marked with the same marking. They have 3 congruent angles, so that's equiangular. So let's do some samples over here. Number 1 here, it says classify by the sides. So this is like I was saying, look for, do they want by the sides, do they want by the angles, do they want you to use both names? So it depends on what they're asking for. This one they want us to classify by the sides. All of the sides are marked with a 4, which means they're congruent. Mark your sides congruent with these little tick marks. A matching mark means that that side is the same. And I want you to get used to seeing those markings and used to marking it, so please do mark that. So all 3 are the same, so based on its sides, this is equilateral. Question 2, again, based on its sides, let's look. We've got 1 with a 6, 1 with a 6, 1 with a 3. Mark the ones with the 6s congruent. So I have 2 sides in this triangle that are congruent. So this is isosceles. If you have trouble spelling isosceles, sometimes I abbreviate it by just putting isos, I-S-O-S. And if you, just try to spell it as close to isosceles as you can, as long as I know what it's supposed to say. If it's close enough, I'll be able to tell. Number 3, based on the sides, one has 5, one has 7, one has a 10 on it. None of them are the same. This is scalene. And number 4 has 2 congruent markings, so it is isosceles. So that's naming them based on their sides, how you would name these triangles. But remember, they might ask for sides, they might ask for angles. It depends.